Hello, hello. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz. Welcome. I'm Zachary Hines, and I'm with the ever so lovely LeeAnn Day Douglas.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just love ever so lovely LeeAnn.
It works.
It sounds good.
It does sound good.
I try really hard to switch it up, and the alternatives are never as good.
I know, but they're humorous.
They're humorous.
Yeah.
So next time I'll think of something the golden Black Panther of the Straz.
I'm gonna get you a thesaurus. That's funny.
Well, that was a little teaser for
Yes.
We saw our first shows of the year, our first Straz shows of the year, which were we had a pretty wild week.
We did have a wild week.
Of theater going. We went to see Nat Geo, the Nat Geo series with Shannon Wilde, who did a presentation on her time documenting the Black Panther.
The pursuit of the panther.
In India.
Yes.
And then we also ended the week with a lot of Golden Girls, a lot of drag queens, bottomless mimosas.
It was
and
fabulous.
Puppets.
Yes. It was fabulous.
It was a fabulous week.
Mhm.
And listeners, I know you're really invested in this because this was a very special week because it also was the return of LeeAnn and Zach getting dinner together.
Oh my gosh. So good.
It was so good.
Yes.
So good that LeeAnn forgot.
Yes, I know. It's hilarious. So we decided to go to the Bricks Ybor,
My fave.
which is also one of my favorite places.
Always.
And I had stopped going to the Bricks because the last few times the service wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. But Zach must be a good luck charm because the service was phenomenal.
Oh, they know I'm a regular. That's my first date.
They saw Zach come in and they're like, oh, we got to be on our game.
He probably thought we were on a first date because that's where I take all of them.
Yeah, she was so attentive. She was just trying to figure out what we were doing together. That must be what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, Zach must have run out of eligible bachelors that he's moved on.
Yes, yes.
Trying new things, expanding our horizons in 2020.
Yeah.
You are my work wife, so
There you go.
as I've said. So let's talk about Shannon Wild because this was my first experience seeing a National Geographic show here. And it's fitting. It's our 10th anniversary of the series.
Which amazes me that you had never seen one before.
Yeah, it always sounded interesting. I've never been I love nature. I love like Planet Earth, and nature documentaries, but I just didn't know how it would translate live.
Right?
So I am mad at myself for waiting until now.
Yeah, those Nat Geo lectures are really, really cool. And what people, I don't know if people realize, it's not just a photographer showing the pictures that they took while they were out. They really are storytellers.
Oh yeah, I thought it was gonna be like your friend comes back from their vacation in Africa, and then you have to sit and watch all of their photos.
Their vacation photos, yeah, and it's nothing like that. I mean, they're actually telling a story. So she was telling the story of how she got involved in animal photography in general, and then wildlife photography, and a few missteps that she had along the way that caused her to have a very large cheetah bite in her left bicep that looked really, really painful. We got to see the pictures of that.
And she was so low-key about it. She was like, yeah.
Yeah, I got bit by this cheetah and it was my fault. And I was really embarrassed. And it's like, oh, here's me going into shock.
And then she went right back into it.
Yeah, and then she went right back to animal photography.
So as a fellow pet parent, she started her career as a dog and cat photographer for pet parents. I feel like one of my biggest takeaways was I really want her to photograph my dog.
Okay, but no, she did have a little trick to get the dog to look at the camera, which was have a squeaky toy in the hand that's got the camera in it. And you squeak it, they look, you snap.
Have you attempted?
No, because I've always been able to get my animals'
Uh,
attention. So,
you haven't had
well,
to.
I usually did it with a treat. So I'd always have a
Oh.
treat in my hand and they look straight at you, except for a cat where, I bottle fed my cats. So they were really attentive to me anyway. Oh, they were adorable. I know. There's nothing like a bottle baby kitten. They are just so cute and they love you, love you, love you. So they're unlike other cats when you've brought them up
Once
from
this
that
is done,
young.
I'm literally Googling bottle feeding kittens. That's just the cutest
It's
image.
really, really adorable. It's a lot of work.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's really they just love you forever after that. And so I could always just say their names and they would look at me and I could get a really good photo.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, I thought it was going to be more informative on like this is the Black Panther and while she did have lots of information about all the different wildlife in that forest and about the Black Panther, like I didn't realize that the Black Panther was really
A
a
leopard.
leopard
Mhm.
just with extra melanin.
Right, which is really interesting because she managed to take this photo of the Black Panther in the sunlight and they still have their spots.
Yes.
They're just different black
on black.
iridescent spots. Yeah, so they're really, really cool.
Yeah, that was why I had no idea that they even had spots. So
Mm-mm.
that was really interesting. But I love that the real story was her story, her journey into getting into this profession.
Right.
And what a wild life. She seemed like such a cool person. And
Yeah, and she was really she just seemed really excited to be there.
Mhm.
Almost like it was her first time giving a lecture. So she was just really warm and
Genuine.
authentic and yeah, so I really enjoyed the lecture a lot.
had that like Australian sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
I love that she met her husband on Instagram. And
he's a wildlife photographer too.
yeah, he did and they were like the perfect pairing because he did film and she did still photography, and then they kind of learned from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And
And this was all about their making of this documentary that they made, which now I have to go watch.
Oh, I know. I've had that on my list. I need to check if it's on Disney Plus.
Mhm.
I think it is.
Probably. I'll have to come
Yes.
over.
Yes,
We'll
we'll have
watch
a
it
night
together.
and we'll talk about it on the next podcast. What you missed on Disney Plus, our spinoff. So yeah, I can't wait for the next one, which is Andy Mann, From Summit to Sea. We're going underwater.
Very nice.
And then I'm really excited for the last one this year, which is Yujit Bhattacharjee, who's doing something like it's kind of about deception and espionage and all of that fun stuff.
And doesn't he use a lie detector?
Yes.
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 So that's pretty cool.
I'm all for it. I wish
Yeah.
I had a lie detector.
I think it would be really interesting if people just walked around with lie detectors on and you would always know. Or if they were like Pinocchio and you would at least like know where they're coming from,
Yes,
right?
like the Geico commercial or Pinocchio's
Right?
motivational speaker. So that's the Nat Geo series. Highly recommend it. I'm sold. I'm gonna be at all of them moving forward because I want to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
So we went from really classy Nat Geo higher education to the Golden Girls.
Yes. Not only the Golden Girls, but the Golden Girls Drag Diva Brunch.
So this is one of those days where I was like, I love my job. I love that I can get paid to plan a Golden Girls drag diva brunch. All my favorite things: brunch, Golden Girls, drag queens.
Yeah, and it was interesting because you were actually working the brunch,
Right.
but I got to attend the brunch.
I know, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, so as an attendee, it was really, really cool. It was at Maestro's Restaurant, which is our restaurant here at the Straz Center. And there were Golden Girls pictures all along all of the walls.
Yes, we covered all the art with Golden Girls portraits.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Which are now going to be lining my cubicle.
Yes, you have to do that. You have to do that. So that was really cool. And then like I sat at the bar because it was sold out.
Yeah, it sold out in like 2 days.
Yeah, it was sold out. So I had a seat at the bar with other staff members. And there were these fans that were at your place setting, and
Mm-hmm.
you either had a Rose, a Blanche, a Dorothy, or a Sophia fan, and those were used during the drag part of the show.
Yes.
I was a little confused, but that was okay. And I'm just going to go into the food for a second. There were 2 food stations. It was buffet, which I've never been a big fan of buffet, so I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to like it. They had an omelet station, which I'm not big on eggs, so I didn't go there. But they had a salad bar that was also French toast, bacon, sausage, fried chicken. There were rolls, butter,
Mini cheesecake.
little mini cheesecakes. I had the French toast and the bacon and the cheesecake. It was phenomenal.
You also arranged your plate so beautifully.
Thank you. Didn't you get a picture of that?
I think Spencer did. Someone did.
Yeah. So I try to, when I was plating my food, making it look as attractive as possible.
Yeah, I was like salivating. I did not get to eat one thing.
Oh no.
everyone, no rest for the weary. But I know you didn't get to the omelet station, but did you see Chef
I did.
with his Chef Daddy
Yes.
hat?
Yes. He was very cute.
It was amazing. I think we all need Chef Daddy hats.
Yeah. And
From now on.
there was a coffee station. The coffee was really good.
Bottomless Bloody Marys,
The
bottomless mimosas.
Bottomless mimosas. And when they said bottomless, they meant it. That bartender kept my glass full. I had to take my glass away from her, actually, because she was keeping it too full.
And that's impressive. A lot of places you'll go and they're like, bottomless, whatever. And, it's like mostly orange juice and like a little touch of champagne. It seemed like they were, just from some of the guests I was talking to, it seems like they were not
They were
skimping.
not skimping on the champagne. They were not. They
so
were
that
not.
was good to hear.
Yeah. So the food was amazing. It was really, really good.
So there was also entertainment. We had Mrs. McGee, which is the ever so fabulous Matthew McGee's drag persona.
I had never seen her before.
What?
I know, and she was hilarious.
Oh my! She played my mother in Psycho Beach Party with Summer.
That's funny.
Yeah, she was. She's just the most wonderful person and an incredible entertainer.
She was amazing, and she was funny, and she had a really good singing voice, which I didn't expect.
Mm-hmm. And just so great with the crowd. Like, she is just a full-on entertainer. I don't think there's any situation you can't plug them into and not have them just shine. They're just so good with people. They know right where to like take it to the line, but not step over it.
Right.
Where people feel like they're in on the joke. I love
Right.
that. That's a very tough thing to do, where you can be sassy and poke fun and play around, but have people feel like they're a part of it. Because then sometimes it can get mean, and
Right.
and they do such a good job of really
keeping it fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
So there was Golden Girls trivia with prizes.
There
were
God.
Golden Girls prizes. There was a lot of audience participation.
So much.
So every time you held up, like if you happened to have a
Blanche paddle,
yeah,
you had to yell, "Eat dirt and die, trash!"
Right, which everybody was really
everyone loved. I think
they
even
were
the
enthusiastic
people
about.
who weren't Blanche said
yeah,
that.
Yeah. If you had a Sophia paddle, you were supposed to say, "Picture it, Sicily." So it was just lines from the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did a sing along.
Yes, we sang along to the theme song. He even did like TV show jingles, like a whole medley of those.
Yeah.
When we needed to stall a little bit, and he just like popped out a Hello Dolly, where he went through like every single Broadway diva,
which was hilarious.
Which is probably my favorite moment. I was like, thank
I
goodness
know.
for this.
And at that point, I'm like, we need to have a Broadway drag diva brunch once a month.
This needs to continue. I mean, everyone, because I was the photo taker as well as one of my many hats yesterday. And everyone who came up to take photos with the queens were like, we want this to happen again. This needs to happen like every month. And it really just fits so perfectly in that space and with what we do at the Straz Center. And I love, it was one of those moments where it was a surprising moment that I always aim for in what we do. And I feel like people were genuinely surprised to see this happening at the Straz Center. So I think it was just a really fun morning. Dare I say, a bit more fun than the actual show.
Yeah, it was fun. The show was fun.
The show was so much fun.
But I just love a drag show, so
yeah, you can't really compete with brunch and drag queens.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was a fun show. There were I have to say, so it was a puppet show. It was, I don't know if you've seen like Avenue Q. Did you see Avenue Q?
I did.
Love Avenue Q. So it was kind of like Avenue Q, but
Yep.
Golden Girls episodes.
Yep, it was exactly like watching an episode of the Golden Girls just with puppets.
Right.
Because they started out with the theme song.
Mm-hmm.
And then when in between scenes, they would play the music where during the show they would cut to commercial and you could hear the music going out and the outro music and then the intro music.
Yeah, and the
coming
Juicy
back.
Fruit. That was your fave.
Well, they played commercials.
Mhm.
So they played a Juicy Fruit commercial, which I had to sing along with because it was ancient.
And like the rest of the audience, there were a lot of people singing along.
Everybody
to that
was
one.
singing along. Everybody was singing along
It was
to
a crowd
the
favorite.
There was an old Coca-Cola commercial that they played during, between acts.
It was very clever.
It
They
was really cleverly done.
And I have to say, while everyone was very good, the Dorothy was played by a man. Everyone else was played by a woman.
And it was hilarious because they have the other three characters on stage for a good amount of time, setting the stage for what's going on in this episode of the Golden Girls. And then all of a sudden, Dorothy comes in, the Dorothy puppet, and the person doing the Dorothy puppet is a guy.
Right.
Because B. Arthur's voice was so low. And he was perfect.
Oh, it was he was the one who got the closest to the real thing. But I think they all did a great job.
They did. They did a great job. And you forget that they're there.
Yeah.
You forget that the human beings are there. You're just watching the puppets and they take on a life of their own.
And fun fact, so the puppets, I'm a little biased. I feel like they were designed so well, especially the B. Arthur puppet, because she had like a full hand, like his actual hand was her hand. And he even had like the adjusting, like the pearls, adjusting the blouse, the hair flips. But they were designed so well. Joel, who designed them, he actually was the prop master at University of Tampa when I went there. So
okay.
Yeah, so a little local connection.
Nice.
Very exciting. So yeah, so I thought, what are your thoughts on parody and camp?
I like it.
Is that your kind of style? Like, is this a type of thing that you would have gone to if we weren't talking about it on the
Probably
podcast?
not. No, I probably wouldn't have. I mean, I thought it was a cute idea.
Yeah.
But I probably would not have gone to see it unless we were podcasting it, so I did.
Yeah.
Shannon Wild is more up my alley. The lecture series, the intellectual, I'm not big on, I have a hard time going to see comedy. Like, I don't go see, because comedy is so individual.
Mm-hmm.
What one person finds funny, another person finds offensive, So I find comedy hit or miss. So I wouldn't normally have gone to the Golden Girls puppet show.
Well, what a perfect pairing, because I feel like we both went to a show this week that we normally wouldn't have checked out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little show and tell
There
for
you go.
both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I am trying to think of a good way for us to rate them together. So I was thinking we can rate the shows with cougars.
So how many cougars are you going to give the Golden Girls?
So I'm going to give the Golden Girls 4 cougars.
Okay.
Since they are 4 cougars.
Okay. 4 out of 4.
4 puppet cougars.
Oh, jeez. And how many cougars for Shannon Wild?
And I'm going to give Shannon Wild 5 cougars. 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Perfect collection of cougars.
All right.
All the cougars you could want.
All right. Wonderful. You're hilarious.
How about you?
Let's see. I mean, I would give the Golden Girl. I can't come up with anything better than cougars. Are you kidding me? No.
You have to stick with cougars.
No. I'll agree with
Cheesecakes.
you. Oh, cheesecake. Yeah.
How many slices of cheesecake?
I think there's like 8 slices in a regular cheesecake.
Oh, okay. So out of 8 slices.
All 8.
Oh, wow. You ate the whole cheesecake.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So for both.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. LeeAnn's
So,
feeling generous with the
I'm
cheesecake.
very generous. Yeah. Yeah. So we didn't have any Hall of Shame incidents.
No. I mean,
I
Golden
will
Girls.
say we were sitting in the back row of Ferguson Hall Orchestra for both shows.
Yes.
I think that was the best seat we've ever sat in.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I feel like you're in it, but you're a little bit removed because you're a little bit higher than the rest of the orchestra floor.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still super close. You can see everything. I feel kind of like a king.
A king.
Yeah.
I felt more like a voyeur.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like, well, you're just like
Yeah.
somewhat a little bit removed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in a special room, but you're really not.
Right.
But it's easy access to leave.
Easy access to get up and go to the restroom.
Exactly, which I did have to do in Golden Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I was judging other people who were. But I was in the back row. If you're going to sit in the front row, you really have to commit to just sitting there.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
I know. True.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, if they were drinking bottomless mimosas,
it didn't have an intermission. I was really judging them hard, but now I retract my original thoughts.
Yeah, because there was no intermission.
There was no intermission, but they could have gone at like one of the commercial breaks. You really have to. I went during a commercial break where it was dark.
Okay.
I feel like you really, especially if you're up front, like all the lights are on you. I just wouldn't want someone looking at me either being like, oh man, he really doesn't like the show, he's leaving. Or like, oh, that guy really has to pee. That's what I don't want to be known for that. I don't want to be like recognized by some cute guy in the lobby and him be like, oh, you were the guy I saw that.
That's your priority right there.
Yes, that's my only priority.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why I go to the theater.
So yeah, so you retract your Hall of Shamers.
Yes, I'm not going to put them in the Hall of Shame. They're just getting a warning.
Okay. I did not see anybody using their phones.
No one, and that's shocking because I thought that people were gonna like totally disobey.
Mm-hmm.
They gave a really cute like, don't take photos because it's very harmful to the puppets.
Yeah, it was really cute.
But for like a fan service show like that, I thought for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And actually at the Drag Brunch, it was like a sea of phones. I mean, obviously, it's fun and you want to capture it, but I was also like, enjoy the moment. Like, just, it's so much fun. Like, just live in it. We're gonna have to get those yonder pouches for brunch. Well, next time we're gonna be seeing Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. Are you a fan of the movie?
I love the movie.
Okay.
I've seen it multiple times.
I need to rewatch it because I haven't.
It's just like being in high school.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For real.
What character would you have been, or do you relate most to?
Probably Katie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
LeeAnn Katie.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. We're gonna have to get you like a red Lindsay Lohan wig to go see this. I feel like I live for some Regina George, but I was definitely I don't know his name, but the gay guy.
Right.
That was me.
Yeah.
But cuter. No, I was not cute in high school. Anyway, we're going to go see Mean Girls, the musical. It's going to be fabulous. Go see it. And we're going to talk about it. Until next time. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz.